I'm really proud and grateful that I am going to represent Nigeria at the Miss Universe, and I know we are going to win. South Africa, I love you all so much. I am so grateful as well for your love and your support. I know it has not been a lovely journey, but I know that we can get better, and I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much. Esheo!
Oh, so fabulous.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel once again. It's your girl Dumebi. If this is your first time coming across my channel, you're welcome. I do hope you decide to subscribe, and if you are a returning subscriber, you guys know that I love you. It's so good to have you here. Welcome back. So today's video, as you guys already saw in the title, is me giving an update on the Chidimma Adetshina Miss South Africa beauty pageant situation that happened. And it was a big deal because it went even all the way from South Africa to Nigeria to even outside the continent of Africa. A lot of people in the African diaspora were also talking about it. So it's been making the rounds everywhere. You have probably seen videos about this whole situation. And I made a first video about it previously, but there's been a lot of development and updates, that things that have happened since then, that I felt it's only fair for me to come here and give a follow-up and make a follow-up video. Okay, so just in case you want to check out that video so that you can catch up on what exactly this situation is about, check that video out. But just to give you a quick rundown, Chidimma Adetshina is a Nigerian model, a 23-year-old law student in South Africa who was born in South Africa, has lived all her life in South Africa, but she was born to a Nigerian father and a Mozambican mother. Now, she entered for the Miss South Africa beauty pageants for this year 2024, and there was a lot of outrage by South Africans saying that they did not recognize her name as a South African name, meaning she's not South African, which means that she shouldn't be in the contest.
It all started because of my name. People were not happy that my name is Chidimma and I am representing South Africa. So that is where it actually really started. And you know, people felt like, well, South Africans felt like I wasn't South African enough because of my name.
And it really got out of hand because it became, in quotes, a bullying situation. So it caused so much uproar that the South African Ministry of Home Affairs, I think that's what it's called, had to look into the citizenship of the said lady Chidimma in question, just, you know, to basically ascertain if what people were saying is true, that she couldn't be a citizen of South Africa. And on probing into her citizenship, it was found out that her mother, who is Mozambican, actually faked her ID, basically obtained citizenship of South Africa in a fraudulent manner. Allegedly, okay? They kept on investigating, and I think eventually they confirmed that this was the situation. I'm not very sure. So when the claims about her mom having obtained South African citizenship through a fraudulent means came out, Miss Chidimma actually had to withdraw from the competition, and she stated that it was for her safety or something like that, because I think at that point the negativity was too much. It was a lot.
Because I have lived there for 23 years. And it's heartbreaking to see that I wasn't welcomed and accepted. Yeah. Okay.
I can't even imagine having been in Chidimma's situation when a lot of people were asking her to drop out, that she's not South African. And for someone who had grown up in that country, I know she must have felt terrible, feeling like she was being rejected by the only country she knows and has lived in all her life. Now, definitely there were some South Africans that did not share that sentiment. Some of them felt she was also a South African and had every right to compete in the situation. But now, I think a lot of people who did not like the fact that Chidimma was being asked to step down, their reason was because you have people of European and Asian heritage also competing in the same pageant. So they're like, okay, who is the real foreigner in this situation? If someone who is not an indigenous African can be allowed to compete, why should an indigenous African not be allowed to compete? So I think this was the main bone of contention by people who felt Chidimma had every right to be a part of that competition. So a lot has happened, which is what I'm here to brief you guys on. Firstly, the Miss Universe Nigeria pageant, which happens in Nigeria, reached out to Chidimma and extended an invitation for her to come and compete in the Miss Universe Nigeria pageant. And this was basically them just extending a hand to Chidimma because she's one of our own. Her dad is Nigerian. And if you know Nigerians, they will claim anybody who has even a drop of Nigerian blood. So it wasn't surprising to me when this happened. And Chidimma accepted that she was going to come.
Guys, victory at last. Do you remember Mrs. Chidimma, who wanted to run for Mrs. South Africa Universe, but fortunately was disqualified because she was not South Africa, being that she's a Nigerian. She has accepted the offer to run for Mrs. Nigeria Universe. Guys, make una watch her speech.
Everyone, my name is Chidimma Adetshina, and I cannot start off this video without expressing my gratitude to the incredible people who have shown me so much love and so much support. Now, I have received an invitation from the Silverbird Group, who are the organizers of the Miss Universe Nigeria beauty pageant. And I say this with great excitement because I have decided to participate in the Miss Universe Nigeria 2024 beauty pageant.
As we speak, Chidimma is currently in Nigeria. She was picked up at the airport in a very welcoming way, and I believe this was her first time coming to Nigeria in 20 years, so it was a beautiful homecoming for her. And I'm happy that at least something good is coming out of this. She gets to visit home, she gets to know that Nigerians love her and accept her and welcome her home, so at least some form of acceptance. I think that's a good thing. So eventually the Miss South Africa competition held the finale, and they had a winner that emerged. So yes, that's the winner. And this was what everybody was thinking, like, okay, so finally this is the winner, someone who is Caucasian. What happens to the whole we want a South African person? And South Africans, on the other hand, have come out to talk about how they are happy with their winner, and she represents who a true South African is, because South Africa is a rainbow nation, and even the people who have the European and Asian heritage are part of them. So this also did not leave some people, especially the Pan-Africanists, happy, because if we're going to trace the ancestry, Chidimma did not have a South African name, and that was what sparked the outrage. These people in question who have these heritages, you know, European, Asian, also do not have an indigenous African or South African name. So a lot of people were trying to feel like, okay, make it make sense. What's going on here? Now, one thing that interested me was when some of the celebrities actually spoke up, especially when Tyler spoke up. This is what Tyler said. So you can see that Tyler was actually expressing that she loves her country, South Africa, but she wasn't really in support of how the whole thing was handled, and she believed that Chidimma was bullied, and she wishes Chidimma the best. I have a newfound respect for Tyler, because I know that she must have known that she was going to get a lot of backlash by some South Africans for, you know, coming and taking a stance to kind of support Chidimma. You understand? So another reaction that got me was that of Burna Boy. You guys, Burna Boy... Burna Boy is somebody that is very vocal. We know him for that. So he basically made this tweet. He's expressing the same sentiments by people who feel like, okay, this is the person you guys choose. And of course, you guys know that he created banter as well between Burna Boy and South Africans and Nigerians, and it was a whole thing to witness. So now, at this point, I just want to go ahead and play some videos after this whole update has happened, you know, after the winner of the South African contest came out, and after Chidimma was invited to come to Nigeria to compete and all of that. I want to play some reactions. So let's just go ahead and see what people have to say.
Let's take this Chidimma situation and try to break it down in our brains as much as we can. The problem with Chidimma is that she didn't represent South Africans in any way. From her name to the way that she looks, down to the culture that she has publicly.
Did she say the way that Chidimma looked? Chidimma didn't represent South Africa in the way she looked. I can understand the name part. Yeah, obviously it's not a South African name, but the way she looked, as far as I'm concerned, Chidimma can pass for a South African with the way she looks. Chidimma can pass for a Nigerian. Chidimma can pass for a Ghanaian. Chidimma can pass for most countries in Africa. She looked indigenously African, so I don't support that.
I personally didn't care what Home Affairs said about her citizenship. All I cared about was the fact that nothing about her represented South Africans. When you tell us that we would rather celebrate a Mariki Filyun over our black sister, then we have the right to tell you that what you're talking about is a racial issue and it has nothing to do with being Miss South Africa. Playing the brother and sister card in the situation doesn't work, because a Mariki Filyun is more of my sister when we talk about being a South African as opposed to a black girl that comes from Nigeria or Ghana. In South African context, Mariki is my sister because I recognize her name, I recognize her language, and I recognize her culture. A Michaela Mackenzie is more of my sister when we talk about being a South African as opposed to a Chidimma. If your problem is race and colonization, then there's other platforms where you can discuss those things, not this one. If the situation is racial, then yes, I can say Chidimma is more of my sister than a Mariki, but this is not the case. So stop trying to guilt trip us and using big words to make us feel guilty or make us feel bad for not wanting to accept a person that doesn't represent us in any way. Stop trying to dibanisa things that don't dibana.
So she recognizes Miss Maya. Maya is the winner of South African contest. Maya Lecrow, I think that's how it's pronounced. She recognizes her language and her culture. A foreign culture that was basically brought to Africans. But if that's how South Africans feel, we have to respect their wish, right?
Hi, are you okay? One thing about me is that you'll never find me in the forefront of a group of people who've decided to discriminate against somebody who looks like me, my fellow African. You'll never find me, because that would not make it any difference from what our colonizers did to us. Another thing is that, being patriarch is not about what you say, it's what you do, right? A great example will be the apartheid government. They were the most patriotic group of people you could find. But what were they doing to the native South Africans? You cannot be patriotic and then undermine human rights on the other side. It doesn't work like that. Chidimma is going to be fine. This is nothing new, okay? Look up Melissa Naimuli, if I'm not mistaken. She entered last year. Her mom is Xhosa, completely Xhosa. This girl was born in the Eastern...
I love when they do that clicking thing. I don't know how to do it for the life of me. Okay, now to be serious, you guys. The Melissa lady she spoke about, I went down that rabbit hole and I found out that her dad is Ugandan and her mom is South African. Xhosa. I'm sorry, I'm not... You guys, I'm sorry. I just like to do it. I don't think I can do it well. Don't be offended. But anyways, so basically she was half South African and she entered into the contest. I think she went very far, but there were a lot of uproar about, oh, this is not a South African. In Africa, a lot of our tribes are patriarchal. So if her dad is Ugandan, it means she's Ugandan. What is a Ugandan person doing in a Miss South Africa contest? There were a lot of, conversations around that. And even she came out to talk about how she didn't really feel accepted.
I was 14 years old when my father got arrested for simply not looking South African. I decided I'm going to change my fate. I will denounce my father and my heritage in order to find protection and acceptance from our society. To this day, that is the biggest shame and guilt I carry. Miss South Africa has always been a love letter to my father, and more than anything, an apology. Mr. Samuel Maimuli, I am so sorry. I am South African. I am African. Miss South Africa is not a title, it is not a crown. It is a job of service, of leadership. And I will stake my claim in this position because this is who I am. My name is Melissa Nansikombi Naimuli, a proud South African and a proud Ugandan woman. Thank you.
And even the lady herself in question addressed it. I think she definitely knew. People made their sentiments known and she felt the heat. But of course, the uproar was not as much as in the case of Chidimma. And I feel like it's because Chidimma is Nigerian. We already know that there's a lot of bad blood between South Africans and Nigerians. So basically going by this Chidimma situation was history repeating itself because it's not the first time.
Okay, she speaks fluently. Her dad is from Uganda. But she received the same treatment, so nothing new, she'll be fine. We do not stand for criminality at all. So for me, I'm calling for all the, Home Affairs officials who are involved in that. Chidimma was not involved in that, okay? Whoever was involved in ensuring that Chidimma's mom gets the document.
This is the whole thing. We generally have to know how to respect the laws of the lands wherever we find ourselves. If you're an immigrant, it doesn't matter if you're an African living in another African country. The fact that you're an African does not give you the right to go into another person's country because we are all Africans and then you don't obey the law. So no, criminality is not accepted. So I believe if truly Chidimma's mom got that ID fraudulently, it's a criminal act and there should be repercussions for that. Definitely. But now, in the case of Chidimma, we know that, okay, she was not involved.
If that is the truth, because Home Affairs is still doing the investigation, then somebody needs to be arrested. And I want to see those Home Affairs officials who are involved.
Yeah, this is democracy, Baba. This is democracy. South African men and women, grown men and women going on Twitter, tweeting about Miss South Africa. Let's give you a history lesson here. In that Miss South Africa, when it was started by Europeans for Europeans who were in South Africa. So they didn't even include you. That's why even your plus size women are not even there. You are still talking. That thing is racist. Even the definition of beauty is still racist. So I don't even understand why grown men and grown women would focus on what children are doing. Say, Miss South Africa, you are not even going to get a cent. Forget about it. Go and sit down with your xenophobic self. You are trying to hog that, no, it's only for South Africans. Europeans have been entering those things. The people who you've never checked white people's fathers and mothers, but because you hate yourself.
I am a proudly South African deaf woman, and I know what it feels like to be excluded. But thanks to the Miss South Africa organization, I have a foot in the world of the included. And
so, South Africa, of all the noise that you are making, this is what it is about. This, Miss South Africa, all the noise that this one, the black one that you are saying, guys, South Africans, they rejected this lady from contesting as Miss South Africa because they believe that their problem with the lady is that she stole identity. Meanwhile, the lady is born in South Africa. They say the father is Nigerian, whatever the story is all about.
Okay, now I had to go online to check out how people can gain South African citizenship, especially being born there. And there are some sites that indicated that you are liable to get South African citizenship just by being born there. And there were some other sites that said being born there is not enough. You have to have one South African parent, at least one South African parent. Either someone who's indigenously South African or someone who has gotten their permanent residency and stuff like that. So just being born in South Africa alone might not be enough to be a South African citizen. So I think that's where some of the South Africans were coming from. When I saw that, I was like, okay, it makes sense why they will question someone who was born in South Africa. Maybe that was not reason enough by their South African law. Please, South Africans, confirm in the comment section. So now that Chidimma's mother's identity seems to have been gotten in a fraudulent way, that basically negates Chidimma's citizenship. So I think that's where the South Africans are coming from. But by virtue of Chidimma having lived in South Africa for all these years, is she not already due to actually become a South African citizen? I don't really know much about the law, so I'm asking this as an honest question. The fact that she has been there for over 20 years of her life at this point, without her parents' influence or whatever, she on her own, is she not liable to get citizenship of South Africa if she maybe applied? I would like to know.
This lady, this black lady, because she stole identity, but South Africans don't have problem with the white one who stole the land together with the identity. They don't have problem with that. Between these two, this one is a foreigner, the black one is a foreigner, and the white one is South African. South Africans are becoming the weakest link to Africa. The white one is a citizen. The black one is a foreigner. South Africa. So South Africans rejected the black lady who is able to speak, can hear, can do everything. They swapped and then rejected her because she's just black and she stole their identity. They swapped her with a white, a foreigner who came and stole the land, and she's deaf and cannot speak properly. Listen, I'm not trying to... See, far from that. Far from that. Respect to all the disability people. I'm not trying to laugh at disability people. No. But it doesn't make any sense right now. That South Africans... Anyway, I will not go there. Before this is public platform. I don't want anybody to say that I'm trying to laugh at disabled people. No. So South Africans rejected the black one for this. And the black one is a foreigner to South Africans, and the white one is a citizen to South Africans. This one stole identity and you have problem with it. That one, the white one, stole your land together with identity. You don't have problem with it. How it has gotten to this level, South Africa. I don't want to say anything because these people, they are so emotional. They start insulting you. Ebana. I don't want problem. But I just want to know. So the white one is a citizen of South Africa and the black one is a foreigner. I just want to know. Are we serious? Fellow Africans, I mean, this doesn't make any sense. These guys who keep disappointing us in Africa.
So a lot of non-South Africans, black people, African people in the African diaspora were very shocked at the outcome. I feel like if the winner had been a black woman, people wouldn't have really said anything. But because it's a Caucasian person, it looked somehow. So Chidimma came to Nigeria for the Miss Universe Nigeria contest, and I came across this interview.
As much as I'm still fighting for my identity, I am still proudly South African and I'm still proudly Nigerian.
Okay.
And it's really okay to be diverse.
Yeah.
So you can see Chidimma says she is proudly South African and she is proudly Nigerian. And of course, she's proudly Mozambican. Let me add that one. And I like the fact that despite everything that happened and the way she was treated, she's not denying her South Africanness. It's good that she can still see herself as the South African. So this is me stopping by in editing to add that the finale of the Miss Universe Nigeria competition held on the 30th of August 2024. And I had already filmed this video a day before that day. So Miss Chidimma Adetshina emerged as the winner of the Miss Universe Nigeria 2024. And as you guys can see, she looks so happy. Go Queen. A lot of people are happy and they see her story as the Cinderella story, a story of resilience and faith. Because, what will be, no matter how hard it was for her to get to where she was, this was probably just destined. And this whole journey was probably how it was just meant to be, to get her to the victory which she's enjoying at this moment. A lot of people are happy. Nigerians especially have been pouring in their support, even people from other African countries as well, even some South Africans too.
Chidimma Adetshina Vanessa has just been announced as Miss Universe Nigeria 2024.
Other than Miss Taraba.
We Nigerians have embraced her with our full hands, and we think she can actually represent us at the Miss Universe on the world stage. So thank you, South Africans, for giving us such an amazing lady. The way Chidimma has just been announced is very satisfying, very demure.
Guys, Mrs. Chidimma, who was rejected and bullied by South Africa, has finally won Mrs. Universe Nigeria. Guys, this is deserving. Yeah, when God say yes, no man can say no. I'm so happy. Congratulations, girl. You got it. In fact, it's deserving. She's beautiful. She deserves it. In fact, she's deserving. Like, she won for it. Honestly, if you see how South Africans try to frustrate her, the way South Africans were voting for other states so that Chidimma will not win. But God don't shame the devil the way God is shame the devil. I'm so happy. Like, I'm so super happy for her. It's deserving. Welcome home. We love it. Nigeria will always welcome their own. We always love, cherish, and welcome their own. Even though, apart from welcoming, she deserves it. Among all contestants, if you look at all contestants, she deserves it. She deserves it. Congratulations, girl. I hope South Africans, you people will stop crying now.
Congratulations to Chidimma Adetshina for winning the Miss Universe. We are so happy that at least she won the Miss Universe, and we are proud. As Nigerians, we are proud. I'm happy for her, and many Nigerians are happy. But trust me, most South Africans are the most happiest about her win. Okay, so do you even know how many South Africans that supported this girl? Do you know how many South Africans? In as much as she had that issue and later withdrew from the Miss South Africa, what? Do you know the amount of South Africans that supported this girl from here, South Africa? If not for anything, I know at least 3 South Africans that sent 1,000 rand to vote her. But there have been some other people who have expressed a different sentiment, being that they feel like Chidimma's win is a pity win, and that it was unfair to the other contestants, the other girls who have probably been born, bred, and lived their whole life in Nigeria, compared to Chidimma, who has not even been in Nigeria for over 20 years, who just basically was given a pass, no auditions and none of that, and basically just fast-tracked to be in the finale.
Nigeria. It was so predictable. So Chidimma Adetshina won the just concluded Miss Universe. I'm sure you guys remember Chidimma Adetshina. Congratulations to Chidimma. I am happy for her. But then again, I feel like it doesn't make any sense, sincerely speaking. I knew they were going to give it to her, but why? The other girls, they started from the start. They started from fresh. It is screening and everything and all that, and then Chidimma came from nowhere. I don't have anything against Chidimma. I feel like these organizers, what are they doing? Are they doing it for clout? Or are they doing it just to spite South Africans? It doesn't make any sense. I feel like they shouldn't have even invited her in the first place. So because she didn't start from the screen, the audition and whatever they do. She just goes from nowhere and she won. Just like that. I wouldn't call it, should I call that grace? For me, I feel like she doesn't merit this thing. I feel like to me, it's more like they are using that to spite South Africans.
Miss Chidimma Adetshina don't finally win Miss Universe Nigeria. Say her for here. She don't finally win them. They don't finally crown her. Of course, I knew it will happen. The day she joined that program, I knew they would give her the crown. Yes, somebody will tell me, hey, she deserve it. Deserve what? You don't see Miss Rivers? Is she a joke to you? You don't see that girl performance? Of course, I know. To prove South Africans wrong, we are ready to do anything. Yes, even at the detriment of others, we don't care. Just to prove South Africa wrong. Can you imagine? Does she deserve it? Let us tell ourselves the truth. She merited it. She merited it. You want proof to South Africa and say vote no they count for Nigeria? Of course no they count. Wait till they count. The moment they invited her to that program, I knew they would give her the crown. So some of these people feel like some of the other contestants were more deserving of this win. I did not watch the pageant, so I cannot say how each of these girls performed, but I definitely know that a lot more people tuned in and followed through this whole pageant journey than usual because of the whole drama surrounding the Chidimma Adetshina controversy. A lot of South Africans were particularly invested in this pageant, in this Miss Universe Nigeria pageant, and Nigerians as well. So people are talking about how the organizers of the Miss Universe Nigeria competition crowned Chidimma the queen just to spite South Africans. And I don't know what you guys think. I want to know your opinion. Do you think it was fair for Chidimma to have been given a chance and possibly the fact that she won? Or do you think it is fated that Chidimma was destined to win and that it's good that Nigerians actually recognized her and gave her that platform that she did not receive in South Africa? Let me know in the comment section. And I want you guys to let me know, especially my South Africans out there, this whole thing about brotherhood in nationality as opposed to race, because South Africa is a rainbow nation. And in South Africa's defense, actually, some of the palm-colored people in South Africa actually would stand with their fellow South Africans as opposed to other palm-colored people who are not South African. I did this video. In that video, an American palm-colored woman came for a black South African woman, and then the palm-colored people in South Africa came for the American palm-colored woman. Like, they were defending the black sister, the black South African sister. So I think we from the outside looking in might not understand, but somehow they may have some kind of brotherhood. And well, if that works for them, if some of these South Africans feel like they don't mind being represented by a palm-colored person, who are we? And also, I cannot even deny, like, Africans all love each other. We all want to be our brother's keeper and all of that. We know that there's tribalism. Even in my country, Nigeria, we have a lot of tribalism, and it's causing a lot of problems for us, where you see the Igbos and the Yorubas don't get along and it happens. So it's not surprising to me that South Africans and Nigerians might not see eye to eye, because this is not an odd phenomenon. But I think why South Africans are getting all the backlash is the fact that when brothers are fighting, we don't uplift the person who is not one of us, who doesn't look like us, at the expense of our brother. So basically, this whole situation made it look that way. You know, we are discriminating amongst ourselves as Africans while letting the palm-colored person take the shine, take the crown. That was basically what this whole situation represents. So that is why there's so much backlash on South Africa and, you know, accusations of xenophobia. So I want to know what you guys think. But if it comes to tribalism, the whole African, everybody, even my country, our people are not innocent of that. We are all guilty. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.